Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley. First things first, I bet you're wondering why I'm holding a pirate sign over my head. Well, reason being is if you take a look at it, it's a glass case, it's framed. This was one of the giveaways that Clubhouse Cards gave to me as a giveaway. So what I'm doing for this giveaway is if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you are in the drawing. That simple. Is because of the Jeannette standout receiver, cornerback, kick returner, punt returner. I am talking about Birch. He was a sophomore this past year. He's definitely extremely underrated. He's one of the best players in the WPIAL, and I definitely think he's one of the best sophomores in the state. He's talked to several colleges already. So, you definitely want to keep your eye on this young man. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you why he's so excellent. So we're going to watch some film. And we're going to get right to it. Right here, watch how slippery Brett is, where he doesn't get touched up in the jam. He, runs his route. Doesn't have to be a super diligent route, but he picks up yards, falls forward. Right here, you're going to see his ability to catch the football. He's going to run a wheel route. He gets back, jumps up high, brings down the ball. Right here, this really stood out to me as far as athleticism. He opens up his hips really early in a cover 3 technique, but jumps right up and picks that ball off. That's athleticism, folks. And then right here, look at that route. Sticks his foot in the ground, squats between the corner and the linebacker, breaks a tackle, and picks up some yards. All right, guys, like I said, I am joined by one of the best sophomores in the state of Pennsylvania. He is from the always relevant Jeannette Jayhawks. I am joined by Birch. Brett, how you doing?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I can't complain. So, first thing I like to start off with is, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm 17-year-old. So I just graduated. I just finished my sophomore year at Jeannette. Going into my junior year next year. Play wide receiver, corner, safety, kick return, punt return, long snap.
Doing it all, man.
Yeah.
When I was watching your film, the one thing that stood out to me is, I've seen some of your highlights, and I thought you were kind of predominantly like a slot receiver with a really sharp route running for a young age. I underestimated how good of just an all-around athlete you were. You're extremely strong with the ball. You know what I mean? As soon as someone gets you wrapped up, like, you don't go down. You know what I mean? So that was something that I definitely didn't realize until I started watching your highlights a little bit more in depth, of just kind of total athlete that you were to go along with your footwork and whatnot as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm typically underrated, like, in my athleticism because of my size.
And what is your size?
5'10", 170 pounds.
Which, that's great size, man, for a sophomore. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's completely fine. I was telling somebody who's on here and they're talking about their size, how, like, they're kind of, being slept on for their size. When I graduated high school, I was 5'8", 130 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, that's small. Like, you know what I mean? Being 5'10", $170, you'll probably graduate high school at about, 185. You know what I mean? Like, that's great, man. As a wide receiver, you'll put on another 10, 15 pounds in college, you're good.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, you're definitely one of the best players in the state. And like you said, I do think you're underrated outside of the Pittsburgh area. How did you set yourself up to be such an all-around, player on defense and offense? Because like you said, you play so many different positions. But how did you set yourself up at such an early age to have success?
Just working hard. That's all. Studying film every day just to see what I can learn and pick up new things. Because I'm not the fastest guy, and I don't jump the highest, so I gotta do something that stands out.
And sure, you know what I mean. And it obviously, like, even if you're a great athlete, and I'll kind of use, and I'm not trying to hate on this person, but let's use another Jeannette Jayhawk who is probably, like, not only one of the greatest athletes in Pennsylvania history, but probably one of the greatest high school athletes we've ever seen in Terrell Pryor. Yeah. Athleticism took him a long way. And once he got up to the highest level in the NFL, he was successful and he had some success, but he wasn't as great as what people thought he could have originally been, because maybe he relied on that athleticism a little too much. So that's something, like you said, man, no matter how athletic you are, or if you're a step behind somebody, if you put in the work, that's what makes the difference. That's what makes people stick.
Yeah.
Play at Jeannette, which is obviously one of the best teams in the state. When I played them in high school, we were a double A school, and we were significantly bigger because Jeannette's a single A school. So you guys are always playing up in competition, much like an Aliquippa. For a smaller school, you guys produce a lot of talent over the years. What does it mean to you to play there?
It means a lot, just coming from a great tradition of great players that have came through the program. Just want to carry it on and keep going.
No, I absolutely agree with you on that. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, Terrell Pryor's from there. Was it Wilcox is from there? Jordan Hall, which kind of brings me to my next point is, we were kind of talking about this a little bit off air, is the last time I was at Jeannette High School on their football field was my junior year, which was Terrell Pryor's senior year, and his tailback at the time, who also went full ride to Ohio State, was Jordan Hall. So let's take a look to see what happened last time I was on Jeannette's field.
Got it. On the line of play.
Clearly, it didn't go super well for me. Jordan Hall.
Wait, that was you?
That was me carrying the ball.
Oh.
Yeah, that was me. When I was playing at Waynesburg, and clearly, Jordan Hall might be a little bit better than me, and he absolutely took my head off. So it wasn't a good time.
Not at all. Didn't look like it.
As a wide receiver, what do you think some of the important aspects of the position are?
First, you gotta have hands. If you don't have good hands, you're not going to play wide receiver. And second, route running. If you don't run good routes, you're not going to get open. And those are the two main for me.
And I would agree with that. I mean, there's other, subtleties to the position. Like if you can't get off a jam, you're in trouble. If you don't have a feel for the defense, like if you don't understand where like certain drops are going to be during zones, it's going to make, it really tough for you to either A, get open, or B, not get your head taken off. But I do agree those are two of the most important aspects of playing receiver. How did you work on those things, especially route running, which is a tough thing for a young athlete? What do you do to work on your route running?
Yeah, so I just started playing receiver my freshman year, and I always played running back, so I didn't really know what to do playing wide receiver. So I started watching film. So I started watching guys like Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Jerry Jeudy, and then just seeing how the way they set up their defenders and stuff and get off the line with their releases and how to sit in zones and all the other stuff. Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. I personally think, with the exception of Antonio Brown, that Keenan Allen and Diggs are the two best route runners in the NFL today.
I forgot to mention that. He's my favorite player ever.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's just absolutely – what's that?
Greatest route runner ever.
No, I completely agree, and I don't – I try not to be like a prisoner of the moment and go, oh, he just – he plays now and say he's, the greatest route runner of all time. But I really do think he's the greatest route runner ever.
Yeah.
He's not a great athlete. Like, I mean, clearly he's an exceptional athlete.
Yeah.
You look at like Julio Jones would make Antonio Brown look like a slug. You know what I mean? But his route running is so impeccable. I mean, it's crazy how much he gets separation at the top of his breaks.
Yeah, he's so smart.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's something that doesn't just happen magically. It's not something you're born with. That's work, man. That's just putting in that work of, planting your foot in the ground, and you're setting up the DB. And you mentioned that, it's not just about route running's so much more than what people think. It's not about like, okay, I'm running a slant, 3 steps, plant my foot in the ground, run at a 45-degree angle. That's not route running. Okay. Because that DB, you don't know where he's going to be every single play. So, it is a matter of setting him up by, maybe jabbing in, out, in. maybe jabbing Outman in. It's those kinds of things of you're setting him up for eventual moves later in the game, much like a defensive end.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree with me when I say to be a great receiver, you have to be borderline arrogant?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, name one great receiver that's not Jerry Rice that wasn't arrogant.
None of them.
Yeah, man, I have no idea. Like, they're all, and the wide receiver gets a bad rap because they're prima donnas, but like that's part of the position, man. If you don't want the ball and you don't think you need the ball every single play, then it's going to be really tough for you to be dominant at that position.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you agree? A lot of people say a quarterback can make a receiver better, and I completely agree with that. But do you agree with me when I say a wide receiver can make a quarterback better?
Yes, because they always have someone to rely on.
You have that safety blanket, absolutely.
Yeah. It's always a good bet throwing the ball to your best receiver.
And it's one of those things where you make, like, if you get open at the top of your breaks, like if me and you are both running 10-yard outs and I get no separation, that quarterback has to put an absolute money throw, because if he leans it toward the inside at all, it's a pick six going the other way. But if you get 2-yard separation, that makes my throw a lot easier. So that's absolutely it. What do you think you do best?
Just overall offense or defense, or
just overall, like, what do you think your best trait is?
My footwork and my route running.
I'd agree with that. I think it's very exceptional. I think it would be quality route running if you were a senior, let alone a sophomore who's only been playing the position for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some receivers you like to study, but you also play corner because of being at a small school. You play both ways, which you don't see as much at the bigger levels of high school. Who are some corners you like to study?
Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Peterson, Derek Stingley. He's a big one I've been looking at recently. His technique's really good. That's about it.
Okay. And, I was watching some of your DB stuff, and it looked like I was like, okay, he's a little raw as a DB, but then I see, again, that athleticism comes back. That's deceptive. There's a highlight that I showed earlier that you stick your foot in the ground, like you start opening up your hips early, like in a cover 3 technique, but you flip your hips right back and jump up on a 5-yard hitch and pick it off. You know what I mean? You're playing 6 yards off of them. You can't teach that. That's hard work, and that's athleticism right there. So that's definitely one of those plays where if someone's underrating you as an athlete, watch that play and tell me how a subpar athlete can do exactly that.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And what all have you been working on this offseason? I know you've been working on your route running, but is there anything else you've been really trying to take this time, that you've had a little bit more time since there's been no school, that you've been working on?
Yeah, my size and strength a lot. That's the main part of what I've been working on.
Now, have you put on a fair amount of strength and size?
Yeah, I've gained about 20 pounds since the season ended.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I grew about 2 inches since then too.
Wow, that's crazy. So I know you're young and you have plenty of high school ball left in you, but has there been any schools that have talked to you at all or have expressed any interest?
Yeah, Penn State, Pitt, obviously Central Michigan, a few others, but yeah, that's about it.
And that's definitely something to be proud of just at this young age, to be being looked at like that. Do you have a dream school?
Yeah, I'd say like I have a few dream schools like Pitt, Oregon, Florida, UNC. I like those 4. Penn State.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those ones, and they're all have this long line of tradition as far as football. And then what Mac Brown's doing at UNC right now is silly, man. I've had quite a few kids in that 21 class on my show, and they're going to be good. They are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have a bold statement you would like to make either about yourself or about Jeannette?
I think we're going to win a state championship this year.
I love it, man. I love to hear it. You know what I mean? Put in that work and it's going to come to you. Absolutely. And then my last question is, do you have a message for young athletes watching at home?
Just work as hard as you can. Like borderline till you can't anymore. Just look at what successful people at your position are doing. Copy that, add something to it, and then perfect it.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's really well said of, mimic somebody, but make it your own and then perfect that craft. It's not about having 100 tools, but it's about having 5 excellent tools and then have some extra. But you want to make sure your top, 5, 10 things that you do are just superb, and I completely agree with you. So let's play some rapid fire questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first one, do you trash talk?
Yes.
What is your favorite condiment?
Mustard.
Mustard's probably my least favorite. What's your least favorite condiment?
I don't eat much because I eat all plant-based, so I can't really eat much of that. But if I had to guess, I'd say mayonnaise.
So you're a vegetarian?
I'm vegan.
You're vegan. Okay. Wow. I did not know that. And how long have you been vegan?
I did it I went last year for like 2-3 months, and then I quit, and then now I've been doing it for like, I think I'm on my 5th month, going into my 5th month.
What made you switch? Just out of curiosity, because I'm a big nutrition guy. I'm a health teacher, so like I love nutrition.
Just the science of it and stuff, how it helps your body and you don't get hurt as much.
What people don't realize, man, is you feel so sluggish when you're eating like crap. And then once you start eating well, you feel like a whole new person, man. You feel like you have so much more energy. So definitely nutrition's one of the easily, still to this day, slept on as far as if you want to become great. Nutrition's one of the biggest steps you can take.
Yeah.
What is your favorite color?
Yellow.
Okay. What is your favorite TV show?
Right now, I've been watching Trailer Park Boys a lot again.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, who's your favorite character on Trailer Park Boys?
Ricky.
I love Bubbles, man. I love them. If describe yourself as an animal, what animal would you be?
A butterfly.
Really? That's an interesting one. Okay. Give me a place you want to travel to.
Greece.
Okay. Dream job that has nothing to do with sports.
Probably just, I don't know, an investor.
Okay. That's cool. If you could meet one celebrity, who would it be?
Antonio Brown.
Okay. And then who is your celebrity crush?
Bella Thorne.
Okay. I like it. So yeah, that's about it. All I have. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
It was definitely a good time. Jeannette's a team that I followed for a long time now. So I'm definitely rooting for you. I hope your prediction comes right of you guys winning the state title.
You.
And again, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. If you like the content, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.